Hi, my name is Sloan Luckie, and today I actually completed my first 10-mile running event. It was the Soldier Field 10-mile running event that was this Memorial Day weekend today to honor the brave men and women who have protected our country and our freedoms for years. Obviously, while I was there, I was representing Team Refuel as well. And it was really a phenomenal event. Towards the end of the event, you actually enter Soldiers Field, you come out of the tunneled in Soldiers Field, and then you actually run across the football field itself. And because the finish line was actually set up at the 50-yard line. So you're running onto this field, and the crowd is kind of yelling because the stadium's pretty full, and you cross the finish line, which is at the 50-yard line. So it was a phenomenal event. As a matter of fact, I picked up a little hardware as a result of finishing this event. And this was their 10th annual, and again, my first 10-mile run. So great event for a great cause. I did want to share some things with you that you may find very helpful. It's a concept that I'm calling runner under construction. And it's really been inspired by Team Refuel and Got Chocolate Milk because they've been the ones that have really inspired me to do more of these running events. And so let me give you a little background on myself. I'm 48 years old. I have spent most of my time in fitness doing more cross training, but I've never done any long distance or endurance running. And yet, when a lot of my friends who have been doing long distance runs for quite some time ask me about my times, they're a little amazed by my times at some of these first time events and the pace of my time. And so, again, you may find if you're a new runner, you may find some of these concepts helpful in getting you started. If you've been running for some time, you may find some of the cross-training tips that I'll share pretty helpful in order to salvage your legs so you can do more of these running events going forward. I know now that I'm into it, but thanks to Team Refuel, I plan on doing more running events and really want to salvage my legs for any future events. So what I'd like to do is kind of go through some of my results and then share my training method. And so again, for this 10-mile run that I just finished today, I did that in about 150, about an hour and 15. My pace time was about 7.35 or so. And then I did my first 10K. That was the Susan Komen breast cancer awareness run. That was my first 10K about 2 weeks ago. I did that in about 44:57, 44:58 or so, and my pace was about 7.15, 7.16 or so. And then in April, I did my first timed 5K, and I did that. That was for the Child Abuse Prevention program. And I did that in about 22:04, and my pace for that was about 7.05, 7.06. So again, a lot of my friends are a bit surprised when they hear about these times because not only am I 48 years old, but I haven't done any long distance running or don't have a history of doing any long distance running. And so I'd have to say that one of the key or foundations, I should say, behind my performance has been this cross training that I've done for some time. And it's really based off of a fitness workbook that I've written called Body Under Construction that talks about how to make these gradual but significant steps to attaining your fitness goals. And so I want to describe kind of how I train and then how I've adjusted it a little bit to compensate for the running events that Team Refuel and Got Chocolate Milk has inspired me to participate in. And so my typical workout week, I work out 3 times a week. I do cross training twice during the week and once on the weekend. And my typical Body Under Construction cross training will consist of the following. So let's say on a Tuesday, for example, I'll start off with some dynamic stretching to warm the body up. After I do that, I'll start off with about a 14 or 15 minute interval treadmill run. That's where you're kind of running at different paces. So I'll start off slow, then go fast, and start off slow again, and then go a little faster. And I'll change those speeds and maybe change even the incline a little bit to during that 14 to 15 minutes. And what that does is that really kind of gets the heart rate up. It helps you to burn more calories. Before I go into my next exercise, I like to take what's called an active rest. My active rest typically lasts somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. I try to max out at 60 seconds. And it really is just a time where I'm moving in some capacity. So whether I'm marching in place or doing jumping jacks or even dancing, just something where I'm moving during that time so that my training is as efficient as it possibly can be. And then after that active rest, I'll do what I call a VPAC. That stands for Variety Pack. They're combination exercises. So for example, I'll do a set of push-ups followed by a set of body weight squats, and then I'll do another set of push-ups, but where I change my hand position slightly, followed by another set of body weight squats where I change my legs position slightly. And let's say I'll do 3 sets of that. And the reason, again, why I'm doing these changes is really because that's going to help trick the body into burning calories. And even the slightest change like that is going to keep your body from plateauing. Also, during that VPAC, I'm still taking those 30 to 60 second active rest in between those exercises. Following that, I'll do an interval it's an interval bike ride, but I call it a Tour de Burn. But it's the same interval concept that I have for the treadmill, where I'm going slow on the bike, then fast, and then slow, and then faster. And I do that for about 14 to 15 minutes. And then I'll finish up with what I call an interval rope-a-dope. And that's where I'm jumping rope, but again, I'm changing the speeds intermittently, where I jump slow for a little while and then fast for a little while and so forth. And that's how I'll do that interval rope-a-dope. And that'll be for about 14, 15 minutes again, as I mentioned. And then lastly, I'll finish up by doing what I call a home stretch, but they're more static stretches, the kind of stretches that you'd probably be familiar with. So I'll do that on Tuesday and Thursday. But now that I've been inspired by Got Chocolate Milk to be involved in these running events, I now have dedicated a day for running, and my long runs are on Saturday. So what I'll do on that day is I'll do my long runs on that day, and one Saturday I may do 3 miles. The next Saturday I may do 4.5 miles. The following Saturday after that I may pare it back to 4 miles, and then the Saturday after that I may go up to 5 miles. Again, I don't necessarily just add 3, 4, 5, and 10 miles each week, because again, I'm trying to salvage my legs so that I can do more events. Running inherently can be, pretty hard on the legs. And as you get older, again, I'm 48 years old, so as you get older, really salvaging your legs become really important to participating in more events going forward. During my running training, I actually don't focus on speed, believe it or not. What I focus on is form, and I pay particular attention to my breathing. One of the breathing philosophies that I use during my cross training is inhaling through my nose and exhaling out of my mouth during certain parts of the exercise. Well, I do sort of the same thing with with my running, but I fine-tune it a little bit, where my breathing is a little more syncopated, or it has a little more of a rhythm to it, if you will, where the rhythm really complements my stride, where now most of my strides, my core is stable as I'm running, and that's really going to help to avoid any excess injury or on one side of my body or the other as I'm running. Once I finish my long run, I'll come back home and I'll do like maybe 15, 20 minutes or so of stretching. I stretch normally, but I add more stretching now that I'm involved in these running events. I'll also do during that time maybe about 5-10 minutes or so on a roller. You may have seen, something like this. This does a great job at really, loosening up the muscles following the run, helping them to recover, getting the blood flowing in your legs again. And so I'll do that for about 5 or 10 minutes, and it feels really good, to be honest with you. So I'll do that for about 5 or 10 minutes or so. Following that, on Sunday, I'll do my third and last cross-training workout, where I really do pretty much everything I do with the other cross training days, with one exception. What I'll do is I'll exclude the interval treadmill run that day. Again, I'm trying to salvage my legs where I can still, do more of these events going forward. So if I'm doing my long run on Saturday, let's say, I'll exclude that interval treadmill run during that cross training workout on that third day. But I'll do pretty much everything else. I'll still do the tour day burn, which actually is great following a long run because you get to work your legs, you get to work your cardio on your bike, but because you're on a bike, you don't have that constant pounding on your legs. So it's almost like giving your legs a break and yet working them out simultaneously. Also on that third training day, I'll make it kind of a core theme. So even if I'm doing push-ups or squats, I'll involve more kind of stability balls and Bosu balls and that sort of thing so that I'm working my core. Working the core is important whether you're swimming or biking or running because it's going to help improve your balance and it's going to help with body alignment. And really balance and body alignment are important topics in terms of reducing your risk to injury. Following that third exercise, I'll refuel with my chocolate milk. Whether I'm running or whether I'm doing the cross training, I refuel with chocolate milk. As a matter of fact, when I did this run today and crossed that 50-yard line, that finish line at the 50-yard line, I got myself to my chocolate milk as soon as I can. And as soon as I got home today following the event and did a little more stretching, I actually refueled a little bit more. Here's the case in point. There's my chocolate milk, which I've already drunk. And I'll be honest with you, there is nothing better on the face of the planet than an ice-cold, low-fat chocolate milk following a running event or a cross-training workout. I'm telling you, it's like an oasis in a carton. So, and it tastes great. And so, I'll refuel with the chocolate milk after that. And then after that, honestly, I'll try to kind of get in a jacuzzi or in a hot tub or something like that. And really let those jets massage my legs. I'll add some Epsom salt for muscle relaxation and repair. And then after that, I don't do anything on Monday and I resume my cross training again on Tuesday. And so by doing it this way, if you're a beginner, it's a great way to kind of build your way get yourself into running. If you've been running for a long time, some of that cross training may alleviate some of the pressure from your legs. Let's say if you're, running 3 to 4 times a week, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but doing some cross training during your training time could maybe release some of the heavy stress that your legs may be experiencing from all of the running, so you can do other running events. Again, I know I plan to do more. A couple of other things I want to add. Number one, I do really focus on getting 7 to 8 hours sleep because the body literally recovers and repairs itself during N3 sleep. I really focus on living a lifestyle of healthy nutrition. Probably the slight change is now that I'm doing more of these running events, I carb it up a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 days before an event. The day before, I kind of back off the carbs a little bit because I don't want to feel kind of bloated and heavy, the day of the event. The other thing is, in addition to Team Refuel and Got Chocolate Milk inspiring me to do these running events, I find additional inspiration when I'm able to run for a cause. So whether it's for child abuse prevention, or breast cancer awareness, or to honor the troops like we did today, I find that I can get additional inspiration from that. As a matter of fact, every stride I take, I'm always thinking about the Challenge Athletes Foundation as well. This is some really brave women, men, and children who are really living life to the fullest despite their physical challenges. And so I think about them with every stride. And so I'm looking forward to future events. My next one is going to be a half marathon. That'll be my first as well. That's going to be the Rock and Roll half marathon. And actually, that's going to be co-sponsored by Refuel. So I look forward to meeting my other Refuel team members there as well. So that's all that I have. Hopefully you found this very helpful. Until next time, keep refueling with low-fat chocolate milk. post your run or post your cross-training workout.